What is up, guys? PoliticsGaming here, and today we are doing a brand new episode of the United Mexican States. In the last episode, what we did is we enacted a major healthcare reform, and I think we're going to be continuing this policy today. So we are going to continue to try to raise some money, create some economic growth here, and I think we're going to sack our Minister of Health here. I don't like that Nieto is our Minister for Health. I want to kind of see a new face here, so I think we're going to try to sack him and get rid of him and replace him with someone else. What we're going to do too is we are going to raise the amount of healthcare staff in our health and social security tab. We're going to try to go for 500,000 people here, and I think what we're also going to do is we're going to build at least a couple dozen hospitals and try to reduce this number right here. So we see that population per hospital bed is actually on its way up, and we do have a bunch of hospitals underway right now. So if I actually try to go to hospitals and I wanted to cancel all of these, so we would get 141 billion pesos and 72,000 workers for this, and so that was 70. How long is that going to take? It'll take about 8 months, and I can't remember how long ago we just did that, so we might do another 70 here. Another 84,000 people will be working on it, but we're going to hold off for right now. What we're also trying to focus on is we're going to start focusing on getting heart disease and diabetes down. So these are the main killers in Mexico. So we do see that there is a decrease right now in our heart disease factor. So it went from 86 to just around 85. So it kind of is on its way down, but we are pretty far away from where we were at the beginning of the game. So we're going to go ahead and try to start continuously lowering that. Our population is growing healthily, 134 million people. We could actually try to go for 150 million people. Infant mortality is way too high right now. We're going to look, so we actually was kind of stabilized around the entire time that we didn't really mess with health, and now that we are starting to mess with our healthcare budget, we do see a decrease in our infant mortality here. So we're gonna go over to budget. We're gonna go to maternity leave, occupational medicine, maybe maternity. We would have a effect here. So let's see: neonatal conditions, inadequate neonatal cares, insufficient quality of public health, respiratory disease is on its way down, lung cancer is on its way down. It actually was a very sharp increase and then a sharp decrease. So interesting stuff going on there. Stroke, rich foods, tobacco. So we do see that the tobacco tax and it was the tobacco tax and it was the salt and animal fat tax. So we're seeing that is starting to have an effect. I think we could go for like 7.5% here, but I don't know how that would be perceived. So yeah, people actually would like that. Well, Parliament would like it. How would people like it? Let's go ahead and confirm that, increase it to 7.5%. And then we're going to start raising some money here, and we're going to go for an increase to the financial transaction tax. And we're going to go to finance. We're going to see what our growth rate is, 5.2% right now. And parliament, when is the next election? 2027. So we have an election coming up in this episode, so we're going to see how parliament looks. Hopefully we get a nice majority in parliament here. So pretty excited to see how we turn out. And we're also going to try to... So I actually had a response from Eversim about how to turn over your immigration rate. So immigration rate is actually based, and I was pretty correct off of this assumption, the quality of public life in your country. So basically what that means is that in your country, so the standard of living, so the minimum wage, the way it is perceived, the poverty rate, gross national happiness could have something to do with this, GDP per capita, human development, a lot of these types of metrics do have an effect on your immigration rate. So if it doesn't make it acceptable for people to move to your country, people will not move to your country. So what we also do have is a meeting with the President of the United States. He wanted to meet with us and ask to purchase some oranges from Mexico. So we do see that we have a contract already. I can't remember who it was through. I think it was with the United States. So immigration, maybe we could push the United States for a little bit more money here. So let's go for 7.07 trillion pesos here. So let's send that over to the United States and see how they perceive it. Tell them to go for more effort against climate change. Obviously he says no, because he says you're a hypocrite. But we're not a hypocrite, we're just trying to tell you to do the right thing. So we're gonna try to boost a little bit more money off of that immigration contract, which makes it even more scary, because if we lose that immigration contract, which they accept it, I'm kind of afraid to see what would happen if the Republicans win in 2028. So next year we're gonna be really trying hard to make the Republicans lose in the presidential election. So hopefully they do not win, and we're good for another 4 years. So we're going to be good until at least 2032 here. Currency, inflation, or artificial intelligence. So we have some weapons that are becoming available. Good. And what is our deficit here? 0.1%. And so let's continue on. And justice. Do we want to legalize the death penalty? I think this could have an effect on crime. The death penalty is a punishment that is applied by the judicial authority. It consists of legally depriving a person found guilty of a crime punishable by the death penalty of the right of life. Article 6 of the International Pact on Civil and Political Rights, adopted by the United Nations in 1966, declares every human being has the inherent right to live, and no one shall be arbitrarily deprived of life. So let's go ahead and see what the reaction would be by Parliament and the people. And unfortunately, the people would like it, but Parliament would not like it. So that gives us the option to go over here and say we go to elections. I think it would be Parliament. Authorize the use of referendums on a national level. A referendum is a voting procedure that consults voters directly instead of going through Parliament. It concerns social issues. In case of a positive majority vote, the approved text is accepted and enters in the force. Let's see what Parliament would think of this, and the people would like it, and Parliament would overwhelmingly like it. Let's go ahead and propose this, and then we're going to start using referendums for major social issues that Parliament would not like, but the people would like, and then use Parliament for things that people wouldn't like, and then Parliament would like. So good. Salt and animal fat tax has gone up to 7.5%. We're gonna go ahead and continue to play this, and we're gonna kind of move on through. We're gonna do another round of houses being rehabilitated here. We really need to start focusing on our housing effects here. So I think what we could also do, we're gonna go over here, regulate rent increases. So we're gonna pause it. Rent capped. If I wanted to cap the rent here, that would not work. It seems like I would have to attach it to something else. Reduced income tax. I mean, we could afford that. Real estate policy that makes it easier to acquire real estate contributes to reducing poverty, promotes real estate investment, promotes productivity, and enables the poorest section of the population to avail of economic opportunities. It thus revitalizes the growth of the country. I think we're going to go ahead and go for that. What we're going to do is we're going to do a very interesting housing program. So we're going to see if we can even get this off of the ground, and we're going to try to go for 500 pesos right off of the bat. So we seem to, what if I wanted to do 1,500? We could do 7,500, 21 billion pesos. So I think what we're going to do here is we're going to do a 12,500 peso monthly rent allowance here. So what this is a $738 rent allowance. Allowances can be granted to both new owners and to tenants, and the amount of the allowance is based on the household income. So we're going to do this at $12,500 pesos. We're going to attach this to a reform. So what we're going to do also is we're going to attach the lowered income tax on to this reform. We're going to call this the Housing and Development Act. And then we're going to confirm that, send that over, and increases our deficit just a tiny bit. We're going to possibly... Now we're going to do indexed linked rent increases unless inflation really starts to go up. I'm going to say above 10%. Before we actually do that, I'm going to check. Yeah, inflation is on its way down. So once inflation kind of starts to go up again and it goes above 8%, we're going to change that. We're going to go to housing, and we're going to go to state aid, and then we're going to do another 31 billion pesos here. We're going to attach that to the act and then send that through. And that has a 98% chance of passing, so I'm really, really happy to see that that is going to go through. That should be able to do maybe an increase in population growth. I definitely know this will see an increase in the urbanization rate, and I really, really need to start focusing on getting substandard housing down. I really need to get this below 10%. If I can get it below 10%, then we're going to be doing very successful things. And this, the monthly rent allowance will definitely have a huge effect on our homeless population. So we do see that the homeless population actually jumped from about 750,000, maybe 745,000 to about 785,000 people. And we are not on our way down, so it did go down about another 10,000 people, but we need to continue to try to lower this. It looks like the immigration rate continues to fall, so if we go to immigration, it seems that within the amount of time that I've been playing this episode, we have lost another point in our immigration rate. So this is possibly because of the deportations that we are instituting. Because of the increased surveillance at the border, mostly the infrastructures that we are building. So we will see 21.5. Yeah, I have a feeling, really strong feeling, it's mainly because of the immigration or the deportations that we are enacting. It also could be because of the work visas that we are granting, so people can leave and go work in other countries. Well, we should be getting an increase in that too. So we have 1.12 million people leaving Mexico in 2027, and in 2027 we have 1.04 million people coming into Mexico. So this was actually positive not too long ago by gross immigration, but by net immigration it was not positive. So we have 57,000 people that are coming into Mexico, which is up 7,000 people since 2023, but 149,000 people leaving in Mexico in 2023, and now 376,000 people leaving. We need to start to try to get more people immigrating, or at least less people leaving Mexico. And so we do see that the Housing and Development Act has been passed. So let's see what the immediate effect on poverty here is. So let's go over to population. We will see human development. We do see that it does have an immediate effect on human development, and then we will see fertility. I think we're also going to start increasing the amount of, maternity hospitals that we have, so we can start making more babies. The population increased 0.35%. 2% of population of the earth lives here. And contraception rate, 99%. Really? Really? Okay, we actually need to start kind of getting contraception usage to go down. So I think we're going to change the law there. That is interesting. And we could also kind of start to restrict abortion, which will be a little extreme on our part. But I really want to start focusing on population growth. So because if we're not able to import, look at this sharp decrease in babies right here. That is bad. That is bad. That is actually going to be the focus here. So let's go over to family. We're going to go do a massive reform here. We're going to increase this to, I think we're going to do 1,000 pesos, I think, and 41 billion pesos here. And we're going to increase this to 400 pesos. That's going to be 54 billion pesos. We're going to reduce this to 825 pesos. That'll pass. So let's call this the Family and Population Act. And then create the reform, and then birth control policy, no limits, contraception. We are going to not promote that. We're gonna tolerate but discourage this. And could we're gonna change it to authorize at will. So basically, like, kind of not really encouraging it, but like we'll allow it basically. Not really discouraging it or promoting it. So we're gonna add that to the reform. We're gonna go over to abortion, and abortion is completely illegal here. So this is mainly because of the contraception law that we have. So abortion is illegal. It is illegal. Okay, so I'm gonna keep it illegal. We're gonna kind of keep it there. We're not gonna mess with homosexual rights. I think at the same time we could legalize same-sex parent adoption. I know that's kind of counterintuitive to the whole population thing, but but for the freedom and just equality here, I do want to add legalization of same-sex parent adoption. We're gonna do this, add to the reform and Family and Population Act, 68% chance of this passing. And surrogacy, what are we going to do here? Surrogacy legal only as an altruistic act. I think we're going to, again, focus on the population. Surrogacy consists of transplanting and carrying to term an embryo by a woman called the surrogate mother. After birth, the infant is given back to the biological mother, the possessor of the ovum from which the embryo originated and the initiator of the process. In certain countries, this practice is banned, which can compel some infertile couples to engage in surrogacy abroad before returning to their country. Other countries allow surrogacy most often altruistically, meaning without financial compensation, except for reimbursement of expenses related to the surrogacy. Finally, in some countries allow surrogacy with financial compensation called commercial surrogacy. Surrogacy will be legal with financial compensation for the surrogate mother or no legal regulations, thus there is a de facto authorization for this act. So we're going to just try this, that way people who are unable to have babies easily will be able to have this. So we're going to go ahead and call this, call upon passing this into the Family and Population Act. We're going to, I guess that's going to go right through, and that just completely screwed up the entire bill. Yeah, that happened. So we're gonna, what? Oh, okay, thank God. Okay, that we're gonna hold off on that then. Human rights, health, family, women's rights, same-sex parent adoption, conservative values, So good. Usage of referendums. Election campaign has begun, and we are going to be going through an election campaign here. Meeting with the Democratic Union here.
I'm listening carefully. How much would this aid amount? Thanks.
Give them 4 million pesos. And elections started to campaign, 26 days to the next election. Slight reduction in numbers of people in extreme poverty. So let's go over to playing this, by the way. Wow. There is no way. A massive, we had 60% in poverty, and this just crashed to 6%. 60% in poverty. 55.94% of the Mexican population was in poverty last month. And now, after the passage of the Housing Act, that has dropped down to 6%. This is the largest decrease in poverty in world history. Not only the largest, but the quickest in world history. We just beat China's record in the amount, or in the timeline, of reducing poverty for a large amount of people by a long shot. It took China 30 years to do that, and it took us a month, mostly because of just weird algorithms and numbers, but I don't care. That's a success on my part, and all in time for the next election. So congratulations to the United Mexican States for having a massive decrease in poverty. Man, Mexico, if you would just do this in real life, it's just that easy. It's just that easy, Mexico. Come on. Speaking of fighting we're going to go over here and we're going to go to infiltrating the Sinaloa cartel, and we're going to do a cyber citizen awareness, and we're going to consider this 246 billion pesos here. Wow, 1.2 trillion over the next 5 years. God, I wish there was a way we could build canals. Can you imagine? So the Family and Population Act has passed, so we do see that. So number one, we have a poll for the election. 46% of the vote intention for this new election, this parliamentary election, congressional election. The homosexual community is pleased with our Same-Sex Parenting Act, and the National Family Committee is upset. Of course. And slight reduction. I like how it says slight, even though it literally reduced by like 90%. So that interesting, isn't it? And carboconcrete. And let's go. So we do have elections right now. So what we are going to do, we have a Salvadorian election right here. We're going to go to Secret Service. We are going to go to Zapatista. They just popped up again. Huh, they're back? Financial backer Saudi Arabia? Excuse me. Well, let's just infiltrate him. We're gonna do terrorists. Cyber attack to rig a foreign election. So, yep, they will allow us to do it. So we're going to hit them where it hurts and get the center-right party out of power. And we're gonna do investment budget available. We're going to interfere in their election. And that is what it's going to be kind of like a dress rehearsal for the next election. Cyber attack against El Salvador is scheduled, and we have our own election now.
Good evening.
So we have Verde Marina. So we have these two guys that are going to help us out, including the Green Party, so that's okay. So we're going to get at least maybe 40% out of this. So 32... 47%, 26 for the pre-party, for 9.5. And I'm kind of upset that I got the pan and the pre mixed up whenever I was making this mod, so I apologize for that. Reports, 10% of cars in Mexico are made out of, or are using electricity as a fuel source. Massive cyber attack against El Salvador. Let's go ahead and hit them again, and we're going to try to lower the president's, 3%. He's going to lose this election by a landslide. So we're going to have a very friendly government in El Salvador. Very
precarious situation.
Billion pesos here, and I feel like this is going to be a very successful episode. 2.00 billion pesos in damage against the El Salvadorian economy, at least GDP, and 54% turnout in the election. Good. Well, I wouldn't say good about 54%. That means like 46% of the population of Mexico is upset.
After numerous attempts at fishing.
Yes. Good. That means like 46% of the Mexican population just did not care about that election that we just had. We need to start getting election turnout up. I wish there was a law here where basically we could say like compulsory voting is a thing, or like we have like mail-in voting laws, something like that. Who handles the elections, like whether the federal government, national government handles the election, or maybe the state governments handle it, kind of like how it is in the United States. Panic in the nation.
It hit hard.
Transportation is paralyzed. Power stations are down and authorities are helpless. It was a success across the board. So what is happening here? 7.07 billion pesos in damage. And we're going to wait for the results from this election. Secret finances. Kurdish resistance, which attack Iran. That's based. 8.4 billion. Continue. And just continue to see what happens. Sports, the media, information. We're gonna lower the state influence in the media, so we're gonna say state pressures and influence is going to be a thing, and people like that, obviously. Good. And we'll get a boost of trust in the government off of that. Really excited to see what will happen to Mexico after that huge decrease in poverty. Immigration, could that have an effect on immigration here? Maybe we could see a very quick increase in immigration, as poverty is not that bad anymore. What is illegal employment is still a very worrying thing, and compulsory, or what is this, contemporary slavery, 1.62%, which is, I don't like it at all, but we'll just go with it. I also could increase the housing rent thing to, I think what we could do, like $15,000, 15,000 pesos max, and I think that would be like $1,000 per like individual per renter. So energy, we don't have to worry about electricity for a while, basically. I think what we could also do is start to dismantle. We could dismantle literally all of our fossil energy plants, but we're going to save that for the next episode, because I will be investing into like 2 other new fusion power plants. That way we can make up for what we're losing. Because like, yeah, like if we destroy all of our fossil energy plants, then we should be able to be good. Parliament, what is a parliament looking like now? About the same, honestly. Kind of, I think we maybe lost a couple of seats. Maybe we gained like 1 or 2 seats. Favorable regime change in El Salvador. Good. I like that. Let's go to here. Growth is 1.67% negative, and economic relationship is positive 52. And what does that do to our actual relations? Kind of, it made them neutral. So who got into power actually? Bruh. Ain't no way. Ain't no way they literally... Yo. What?
One of my men succeeded in...
Are you... I'm in absolute shock. So basically what just happened, a quiet departure for other horizons. Left the presidential pattern, adjusting the staff, the link, I'm gonna miss this office. But then... So he left office. Contact terminated. What is this? Senate party has lost the election. There's no way the Salvadorian Communist League won the election. But why was there an immediate coup? I'm so confused right now. So So the communists won the election, but then there was an immediate coup d'etat, and now the general is in power, and he's in power for the next 1800. I'm so pissed. I am so mad right now. That is... And all of our contacts just got eliminated.
Good news.
Are you kidding me, dude? What? Oh my god. Okay, whatever. I think we're just gonna go to the Caillou Summit, and we're gonna call it a day. Alright, and so we just got to July 12th of 2027. Unfortunately, our plans in El Salvador did not go to plan, and unfortunately, after the election of a communist party in El Salvador, it looks like maybe the United States got involved here and toppled that government with a coup d'etat, because a coup d'etat almost immediately occurred after the election of this communist party, and now there is a military power in office here. So we're going to continue to interfere in El Salvadorian affairs. I think we're going to consider an assassination attempt against Pablo Flopez, and we're going to try to see what we can do. Maybe we can try to do something here, because something has to happen. But that is very unfortunate. We do have a good positive amount of stuff that happened here. Poverty is at a record time low in Mexico, and we are continuing to try to get things going, at least in terms of the immigration population rate, and in the next episode we're going to start focusing again. I know I said we're going to do this earlier in the episode. We're going to focus again on health and try to get our population up, and we're going to try again at trying to get surrogacy passed. But hopefully, I think in the next episode, life expectancy is still continuing to go up. Child mortality is on its way down. Still waiting on those hospitals to complete. And there was family contraception rates. I think contraception rates should go down. At least I think we're going to try to do tolerate but discourage contraception in the next episode, and then see what happens there. Population growth did jump, so that is good, so I want to see that. But yeah, we'll go ahead and continue on in the next episode. So guys, leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you guys want to see more content like this, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss anything whenever I do make it on the channel. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Thank you guys so much for watching, and take care.